very careful. A lot of organizations are trying to be very careful so that they don't lose money. And the truth is that if you do not take risks, you're not going to be able to make profit. 1 second. So the next thing here is lack of stakeholder buy-in and commitment. And so, like I said, whether it's your funding partner, whether it's your investor, or whoever it is that you would call your stakeholder in this case, you need to be on the same page with them when it comes to you need to be on the same page with them when it comes to agile adoption, and you need to make them to see value in what we're doing. And that is also one of the challenges as well. There are other challenges, not just the organization now, like people you're working with in terms of like your colleagues. They would always just want to keep things going the way things have always been, and it might not be the best. It might not be the best uh, choice, might not be the best thing to do in this case. All right, so yes, moving on to the next slide. Apologies, I'm trying to get this out of the way. 1 second. All right. Okay, so moving on, roadmap for practicing agile in African fintech companies. And so there are many things that need to be done. There are many areas that need to be touched, and we need to be very, very careful not to give people the impression that that this is not something that they should try. But notwithstanding, there needs to be a path that we should follow when it comes to getting all these kind of companies on board with the with this agile mindset. And like I said, the traditional way of doing things. And if you look at Africa, we are very traditional, we are very cultural. We like to keep things that have been working the same way they have been. When it comes to anything, think about it, think about leaders as well. But that's not the focus today. I would just be saying that to overcome the impediments to becoming agile, fintech companies must focus on these three parts. So I've outlined three parts that we need to focus on when we want to practice agile in African fintech companies. All right, so the first one here is organizational assessment and planning. So you need to start from the top to the bottom. Yes, and the organization needs to define their vision. They need to identify that internal impediments to agility, and this must happen from the top. The the organization, the lead people in the organization need to first acknowledge that they want to go in this path. They need to first see that there's a lot of value in going agile, right? And so they must identify the internal impediments to agility and create an enterprise transformation roadmap to overcome them. And so from my experience, people are not patient enough in companies, in especially African companies. I've seen the role of a scrum master being, when I say misused or misunderstood. Most people try to mix the role of a scrum master with the role of a project manager, and that's an anti-pattern on its own. And so organizations need to be very careful, and they need to create that enterprise transformation roadmap and be patient enough to wait and to see it through, and not being impatient and saying, oh, we've been doing this for 6 months, or where are we going? Um, does this look like something that would work? I mean, it takes a while to adopt something. It takes a while to change your mindset. but the willingness to want to change is the starting point here. And so this is about having a change management strategy that is adequately supported with resources. And so from when you're talking about change management, you're talking about the levels of approvals in terms of um, when you want to deploy and you want to get something out to your customers. Are you making it very difficult for people to to make changes, to put things out to the customer? Um, you need to support with the adequate resources as well. And some people use Freshdesk for change management. Some people use Jira, Atlassian software for change management, Jira Service Desk, and a lot of other things. And so any systemic change requires a feedback mechanism to collect and analyze stakeholder reaction. Like I said, you have to get feedback. Feedback is very important. You don't get feedback, you're moving in the wrong direction. You don't get feedback, you're most likely going to you're most likely going to be pushing people in the wrong direction and building in the wrong direction. And it's very important for you to be very careful as to address feedback, because feedback is what drives progress. And so when you're constantly collecting feedback, make sure you're addressing those feedback, make sure that you're improving, and make sure that you're driving progress. I think that if you put it to anyone out there, that this is basically what we want to do. We want to continuously improve. And so it's very weird when people are afraid of improvement. So it sounds very weird when you come to someone to tell the person that, oh, this is what we're trying to work on. We want to continuously improve. There should be no reason why there should be fear. But it's just a thing that we found ourselves in terms of this space and this continent as a whole. But there are a few people who are doing things right. There are a few people who are getting it right and are pushing, pushing for this adoption and passing the baton over to the next set of people. And it's causing a big ripple effect, and people are really doing a great job with it. Okay, so moving on, the next one is implementation preparations. Now, so the goal of agile transformation is to create customer value quickly, just like I said before. So companies have to establish teams organized around discrete pieces of customer experience. And you can call that features. Organizing around features is something that is really amazing. And it leads to a lot of focus on quality. For example, would use Spotify um, to make this example. And when you look at the roles that Spotify is currently hiring for, you realize that they are the roles that they push out are specific to features that they have. It could be about search, and they say, okay, we're looking for product manager for search. We're looking for data analyst for search. Do you understand? So it's good because you begin to focus more on quality, and that still aligns, that still aligns with the overall expectation. And so those teams will work best when managers also demonstrate servant leadership by acting frequently to remove impediments. And this is a very, very valid point. We need to be very prepared. Whoever is going to be leading any team must be ready to serve the team, must be ready to take out impediments, must be ready to serve and help with anything that they can, to reach out to stakeholders, to manage stakeholders, to protect the team, and to make sure that work is constantly moving forward. Not necessarily being the commander in chief or making it feel like you're a dictator or something like that. And so that's the bit that needs to be done. We need to be prepared. We need to have these conversations. And that's why I value conferences like this. And this is where people get to talk about the things that really matter. All right, so moving forward, um, The next one that we need to focus on is technology platforms and engineering culture. And so in this new day and age where we have a high demand for technology talent, only companies who, number one, have the right engineering culture can keep staff. And then, of course, money is also something else. But it's great to have your culture sorted out before you um, before you begin to start hiring, or make sure that your infrastructure platforms are ready and everything that you need to work, your tools, your tech stack, everything is ready. We need to be opened up to the latest technologies. We need to be aware of what is going on in the world. We need to work with the world standard. And that's why I really appreciate what is going on in Nigeria when it comes to Agile, when it comes to engineering, management, engineering talent. We are trying so hard to maintain that world standard. And that's why it's easy to hire really like literally anyone, from any part of the world, but most especially from this side of the world. And so to support agile deployment of new products, financial services firms need to employ modern IT architectures and designs, microservices, APIs, and all the things that make us to take advantage of the latest technology, just like I just said, cloud-based platforms and all of that. So number one, we're talking about the organization planning, right? The second one speaks to planning as well, but more of preparation and readiness. Third one speaks to technology platforms and engineering culture, right? All right, so moving forward, um, what does the future of agility in Africa look like? I tried to make this slide really, really simple and short, so we can really understand and um, digest what I'm talking about. So, what does the future of agility in Africa look like? So, there's no doubt we have a lot of social economic problems in Africa, and regardless of that, we are still making remarkable progress. And like I said earlier, people are getting funding, people are getting um, support from many companies and many capitalist firms from all over the world. Talk about Y Combinator, and getting a lot of people who are into startups in Africa. There's a lot of progress that's been made. A lot of these teams that are getting funding are also applying agility, enterprise agility in their workflow. And so if we maintain this pace and we improve on ourselves consistently, the possibilities are endless. And it's going to be revenue, revenue, revenue. A lot of people will be skilled, both male, both female, different from any ethnic group, anywhere in the world. We will begin to make progress and represent anywhere we find ourselves in the world. All right. So, like I said, the next 2 decades are filled with promises of digital transformation and innovation in Africa, as all these organizations embrace the empathetic, value-driven, and people-focused approach of the agile mindset. All right, so we have come to the end of my presentation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr.
So it's time for questions.
It's 30 minutes. So thank you very much, Mr. Lawale. At this point, I would like to ask if there's anybody that has questions for him, please, this will be the best time to do so. You can just quickly unmute yourself and ask a question. We still have about another 2 or 3 minutes before we round up. So are there any questions for Mr. Lawale?
Any questions?
No. So, Mr. Okay. It's
Hi. Hi, Wale Ajiboye. Can you hear me? First and foremost, just 1 second. Can you give me 1 minute? I wanted to stream your session online, just interaction with us. Can you give me 1 minute to sort that out? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Hi, Amaka. Thank you so much for joining. Just give me 1 second, please. Let's engage. Do we have questions? You have suggestions? Have conversation, guys. BC conversation, please. Let's make it fun. Give me 1 minute.
Thank you for your comment, Amaka. I'm glad that it was insightful. Please feel free to ask any questions. This is Africa, this is our continent, and any ideas or anything that we feel like we can do to make sure that we are improving and like there are new ideas that we have. Please, why not just share it? Let's talk about it. If there are anything that has been on your mind that you feel like you would like to ask, anything at all, might not even be related to this particular topic, but even in Agile as well, we can just talk about it.
Hello, afternoon.
Hi, Tolu.
Yeah, afternoon. Thank you so much for this session. Thank you for taking our time to break down the role of Agile and how you're using it in the fintech space. I was actually just nodding my head and everything, right? So my question is, so I recently took my Scrum Master exam for last year. Yeah, so because I'm interested in entering into the space, being a Scrum Master, right? Yeah, so behind just not just having the theoretical knowledge, I'm also interested in having hands-on experience. Yeah, so how do I go about having hands-on experience, even though where I'm working doesn't really give me hands-on experience?
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. Do you work where exactly? What kind of company do you work in? Is it do they deal with software, or what exactly do they do?
So we have a software department, yeah. Well, I'm not in the software department. I'm just so what I'm trying to do. So based on your question, right? I've started asking them questions that okay, what do you do? How do you go about your meetings? What are the obstacles being encountered in your meetings? So just basic questions, just the book kind of questions of Max, basically.
Great. Nice one. Okay, so let me just answer the first question. Um, being a Scrum Master, like I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's all about servant leadership, and it doesn't matter where you are. There are lots of people who require this. Some can't afford it, actually. There are lots of engineering teams who try to work without having a Scrum Master, but first of all, yes, read about Agile, get certified, um, and then when you are sure and you're confident about the knowledge that you have, you can now step up and probably walk up to the engineering manager and tell them, oh, you're certified, you have this skill, and you like to join the team. I mean, you said you have a software development kind of um, um, aspect of your company, and then try to chat them up and let them know that this is something you can do. I mean, it's all about learning. You never stop learning. And so you don't also have to do that. You can go out of the company and volunteer for like decentralized teams from all over the world. There are lots of people who are building products from different parts of the world. You go on LinkedIn, make use of all these platforms, talk to them, ask them about if they have a Scrum Master, tell them you want to volunteer, and then people would gladly accept it because they are also hearing about Scrum as well. The message is flying really well across the continent. So don't box yourself. Make sure you learn first, and make sure you're confident about what you know, and then you go ahead and shoot your shots to different companies, whether it's volunteering, whether it's internship, but make sure that people see the value in what you have, and then from there you improve yourself, and it only goes up from there. and it's the same kind of story that I have as well. So yes, I hope that you'll be able to relate to that. Okay. Thank you for
So
that.
thank you so much. But are there what should I call it? Are there platforms or one can like register on or to just as a guide to help one grow? So maybe platforms maybe on WhatsApp or Slack, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes. So I will personally, as much as it's great to interact with people who are like in your country, I mean, you can relate to them, and when you're communicating, you understand yourselves. But I would like you to go for communities of practice of people outside Nigeria, not just in Nigeria. That way you get that world view of things, and the kind of discussions. You're not just limited to the conversations that are going on in your country. You know what is happening in Spain. You're in, for example, you're in the Scaled Agile community. You're interacting with people all over the world. You understand what is happening in other countries, and you can now relate that information to what is also happening in your own country as well. So yes, there are platforms, many platforms. There is scrum.org, Scaled Agile, there are many of them. You just Google them, find them. And also you can follow me as well. We could talk. I have other communities in Nigeria that that I'm a part of, and we also have this. So it will really, really help a lot. And I'm open to having. Sure.
All right, thank you so much. So I'll just chat you up then. Thank you so much.
Fine. Okay, there's a question in the comment section. It says, how do I use Agile to capture market women under the uncharted fintech space? That question is very, very interesting. Okay, so from my own perspective, when it comes to capturing a market, or you're looking at
Hello? Okay.
yes.
Can you
We
hear
can
me?
hear.
Okay.
Just
I've been trying to say hello since I think my audio was working malfunctioning. Anyway, thank you so much, Wale, for your patience, and Makuba, your session. Thank you so much, guys. One of the things that I'm really personally I'm highly appreciative of all the speakers that actually registered to be part of this. It's the first of its kind. And like it was asking, your first platform is Google. Google is your friend, Tolu. And Wale should have mentioned Lento. Lento is another platform that you can learn from.
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
check out, we have a career open day, 3 days coming up in a few days. Just check us out and be part of the process. It's very easy. We have quite a lot of platform. Like he said, it's important that you leverage those that are practicing. The truth of the matter is there are so many people that are Agile certified and don't have anything Agile mindset about them. So
Yeah.
it's very key who you're learning from. But the first place to learn from is Mr. Google. Google is your friend. Google houses 95% of the world's content, and you have tons of opportunity to learn from. And join the Lento Career Open Day is one of our pain points to make sure Agile is spread across Africa. It's a game changer. These are skills that companies like Amazon, Uber, even a lot of the tech startup are doing, not necessarily understanding the nuances that make up Agile. It's something that you want to be part of. These are the jobs of today. Please connect with Olawale. I really appreciate you for sharing your video with us and being part of this, amplifying this conference. I know it's the first of its kind. I hope we're going to have you for the next year's one.
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of learning through this
Yeah.
process, but I think overall, I'm very excited. Does anybody have any contribution, anything to say? We're streaming the session. And for me, it's important. All the speakers have visibility online because Africa is full with talent. Makuba is Cameroonian. She was a speaker. And we've had people that are Portuguese, French, and I mean, it's an amazing session. So thank you so much for your sharing your wealth of expertise with us. And does anybody have any question, any contribution? Please drop your LinkedIn. Drop your LinkedIn. Let people connect with you. And please feel free to connect with him if you want to carry on the conversation beyond here. Thank you so much. Makuba, any contribution? BC, Joy, Funke, anybody else have anything to say before we call it a wrap?
I just wanted to add that the possibilities of embracing agility in all levels in our professional and personal life, particularly in changing the future of Africa, presents enormous opportunity. And so I'm hoping that everyone will jump on this opportunity as we collaborate and create mentors all over the continent. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Makuba. Thank you.
Wale, any last words? Guys, we're sitting on a gold mine. If an African is not woke, let me just say this in context. Why are jobs going to India, to Asia? Why? The real question is because they are prepared. They understand what it means. But do you know? How do you plug in? If you do not know, start the learning today. The truth of the matter is there are a lot of cowboys coming here and extorting you. Mentor number one is not about certification. We're about you to have a rounded knowledge of when you plug in as a data analyst, you understand. You have a rounded knowledge. When you plug in as a business analyst, you know where you fit in. Because an agile team makes up of a business analyst, data analytics analyst, you have to be all-rounded. Otherwise, you'll struggle. What skill do you have today? We're saying unemployment in Nigeria, no, it's 46%. What skill do you have? Are you prepared? Look at this conference, it's free. Many people are not logged in. If it was entertainment, let's show off cleavage. Many people will plug in. We need to be the change for Africa. We can't wait on the government. We can't. You are the change that the government needs, me and you. So be part of the change. Wale, any last words before I round up your session?
Nothing much, just apply Agile to your life. Really, that's it. Constantly improve, make sure that you're always enriching yourself with knowledge and you're always spitting out quality, always talking about quality, and you're giving value no matter where you find yourself. Thank you very much. Again, I appreciate the Lentor team. Thank you, Makuba. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Okay, Wale,
You're welcome.
that link you shared, a lot of people will not be able to connect. So let me just drop your link. Please click on this link and it will take you straight to Wale. And click on Makuba, she'll share that link as well. Thank you, Joy, for being here. Thank you, BC, for being here. Thank you so much, Amaka. And we look forward to all of your session. Please, there are other sessions going on now. If you're not logged into Telegram, please plug into Telegram right now and you'll be part of the other session. Thank you. And have a good day. Looking forward to seeing you in other sessions. Yeah. Bye. Okay.
Bye.